That's great to start off the stream, just a big ol' sneeze. Okay, that was just a weird pause. Alright. No one's in chat, but that's fine. I have played about an hour. And, I don't know what kind of tags or trigger warnings to put up, so just blanket. There's probably gonna be some dark stuff. Okay, Rocky. Just this one last delivery for tonight, and then you can go home, smoke some weed, chill out for a while. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a good tipper, and I can pick up some hard seltzer or something. Really make it a party. Fuck, this rain is bad. Weird ass order, too. Almost seems like they were just picking things at random. Like, star fruit? I don't think I've ever seen anyone even eat a star fruit. Whatever. Suddenly, a sheep darts out into the middle of the road. What the fuck? God, there's blood everywhere. Fuck, that hurts. I can just make out someone walking towards me. They don't seem to be in too much of a hurry. Help me! Call an ambulance! Everything goes black. It's dark. Where the hell am I? The last thing I remember, I was driving and then there's just nothing. My head kills. Did I get in a car crash or something? This doesn't look like a hospital room, though. More like a dungeon. I'm cold. How long have I been lying on the floor here? My eyes are starting to adjust. There's no windows, just a thin crack of light coming from under a rusted metal door. I try the door, but it's locked from the outside. Hey! Let me out of here! No response. Great. There's something else in the room that I hadn't noticed before. An old-fashioned cassette player on a wooden stool. It's funny. I keep meaning to get one. I have a huge stack of local metal band tapes at home, and nothing to play them on. Well, nothing else to do. Might as well listen to it. The tape starts with a static hiss. Hello, and welcome to Teeth Kit Newborn Education. We know you may have many choices for your your educational needs, and we thank you for choosing Teeth Kit. This tape functions as a complete replacement for traditional newborn education. Boop, hello, Ember. I have played about an hour of this game alone, and I do not know what warnings to give, so. But we were driving, and then something rushed down the road, and we got in a car crash, and we woke up in this dungeon room. And we started playing a cassette tape. Newborn? What is this? In today's modern world, you can't always be there for your child. But with Teeth Kit, you can get the next best thing for the lowest possible cost. Teeth Kit is recognized for its high-quality educational products by all major courts in the United States and Canada. Courts? Wait, is this the drunk tank? For more information, please consult your local authorities. Oh, fuck. Part 1. Your changing body. You may have noticed some changes with your body lately. Aches and pains, maybe. Or you feel a little chilly. Is this some kind of joke? Rest assured, that this is all perfectly normal and will pass with time. Your body is undergoing the last steps of a metamorphosis that will make you faster, stronger, and in a word, better than you ever were. Scientists still aren't sure exactly how the process works, but we do know that with a few rare exceptions, it goes off without a hitch. Exceptions? To what? Is this some kind of Saw situation? So what does that mean for you? Well, have you ever wanted to leap across rooftops, lift a Pontiac Firebird? How about live forever? Live forever? That's right! Not only are you a new and improved version of yourself, you'll never have to worry about aging or illness again. This has got to be some kind of prank. Luis? Carla? Where are you guys? Of course it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, sunshine is something you should do your best to avoid from now on. Your maker has already provided you with a safe, windowless location to rest during the day. That's crucial, because any exposure to sunlight from here on out could prove fatal. But you may be wondering about the various myths and legends you've come across, perhaps in motion pictures or popular fiction. Well, we're pleased to say that most such stories are just that, stories carefully planted to throw curious humans off the trail. Running water, garlic, crosses, not to mention the sillier ones that like having to count individual grains of rice, they're all made up. Aside from the sun, the only things you have to worry about are fire, wooden stakes through the heart, and decapitation. That might sound like a lot to keep track of, but keep in mind that 3 out of 4 of those things are also traditionally fatal to mortals. You are probably avoiding them already anyway. Mortals. Hey, this isn't fun anymore. Let me out of here. Part 2. The Blood. In your previous life, you may have enjoyed a number of different foods. Chinese fondue, perhaps, or baked Alaska. Is that a kind of food? Things have become significantly simpler for you. From now on, only one thing can keep you going. Human blood. Blood? Advances in technology have made it easier than ever to store and transport blood. Your maker should have left you a small supply with this tape. This thing wants me to drink blood? Of course, most aren't satisfied with pre-packaged blood packs. Nothing beats the thrill and flavor of warm blood straight from the source. The idea of tearing into a living person might seem a little strange or off-putting to you right now. After all, you were one yourself up until quite recently. But in time, you'll get used to it. In fact, you'll probably find you enjoy it more than anything you ever enjoyed in your old life. And don't worry, you don't have to finish off your prey to get your fill. It would be pretty hard to conceal our existence if we killed every time we were hungry. What the fuck is this? As science has driven out superstition in most of the Western world, fewer and fewer people believe in us. And that's a good thing. It means most victims will simply write off an attack as a wild night or a dream, especially if they've had a few too many Harvey wallbangers. Harvey who? All in all, it's a great time to be a vampire in America. You've got to be kidding me. With the end of the Vietnam War, we're entering a new era of unity and prosperity. Plus, increased smog production from automobiles and industry has even made it possible for some vampires to walk the streets during the day. It's a brave new world we're entering, and we're excited that you'll be part of it. Please, turn the tape over to side B now. There's a knock at the door. It swings open and someone's standing there, a nondescript-looking guy in a polo shirt and a headset holding an iPad. Rocky Alvarez, we need you on set now. Set? What's going on? Didn't anyone tell you? Listen, pal, I woke up in this room with a tape telling me that I'm a vampire or something. If I'm not under arrest, then I'm just going to head out and figure out which one of my idiot friends set this up. You don't... Oh, huh. Hold on for 1 second, okay? He turns away from me and talks into his headset for a few moments. I can't make out much, just, okay, got it. Alright, we're going to get this all sorted out. Just come with me, please. Look, am I in trouble? Am I under arrest? In trouble? Kid, you're about to be famous. Come on. I guess there's no harm in seeing what's going on. Once I'm out of this room, I can bail anyway. Alright, lead the way. The guy leads me out of the cell down a hallway lined with dozens of identical doors. What is this? A dungeon or something? Hmm? Oh, yes, yes. Yes, it's a dungeon? Sorry, I was on my headset, but yes, that's right. Listen, what is the deal with that tape? The tape. Oh man, I didn't realize those were even still around. I had one of those back in the early 80s. Different time. What is this guy going on about? He doesn't look much older than me. How about Side B, huh? I didn't get to listen to Side B, actually. Oh, that's too bad. Side B is the best. We head up a musty cobweb-covered staircase. That tape was saying some crazy shit, talking about vampires and stuff. Right, yeah, it's all a little impersonal, isn't it? It's kind of a fad for a couple decades. These days, the trend is back to traditional. It's considered really important to actually sit down with your child and explain things face to face. I stop in the middle of the hall, a long marble tiled space with goddamn suits of armor standing to the sides. Alright, I want some answers. What's going on here? I told you, we'll sort it all out. Right now. Is this some kind of prank show? Did Mr. Beast get me? The guy tipples over her with laughter. Oh no, nothing that serious. You heard the tape, right? You're a vampire. A vampire. Yeah, Nosferatu, the undead. In China, you'd be called Jiangxi. That hopping thing is made up. Those guys are real jokers. You expect me to believe that? Look, I can't stand around arguing with you all night, okay? So how about this? In a flash, he grabs the sword from one of the decorative suits of armor. Before I can react, he grabs my shirt with one hand, yanks it up, and drives the sword right through my stomach. Ugh! Fuck! Fuck, that hurts. Only, it doesn't as much as you'd think, actually. He pulls the sword back out and shows it to me. No blood. I'm fine? The dark hole where the blade entered stings a little, but the feeling is vague, like a memory of pain. See? It's like the tape said. You're immortal. This is a lot to take in. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, but I just work here, okay? I'm not in charge of anything. And you're a vampire too? Yeah, pretty much everyone here is. Where is here exactly? And how did I get here? I can't remember anything. Jesus, alright. We really need to get to set, but you seem like a nice kid, and your maker must have been a real bastard to dump you into a situation like this right off the bat. So, here's some free advice. Forget all the social niceties you were raised with. From now on, you're only looking out for yourself. Is that the first rule of being a vampire? He laughs and shakes his head. No, that's the first rule of being on a reality show. Someone else pulls a wire up my shirt and clips one end to my collar. The other end is attached to a box they stuff in my pocket. That's your mic. Don't mess with it. He points ahead at a doorway. Okay, kid. Showtime. Walk into the sitting room and introduce yourself. Who am I introducing myself to? My question goes completely unheard. The PA listening to a message over his walkie-talkie. Copy. Sending him in now. Episode 1. Welcome, wretched fledglings. The room is ornately furnished, like a very upscale haunted house. I don't know enough about interior design to say what kind of antiques I'm looking at, or even if they are antiques, but they look old and fancy. There are big lights and cameras all across the other side of the room and the other entrances. Hi, I'm Rocky. I wave to the cameras and try to give them a confident job interview kind of smile. Can you try that again with a little more energy? Not looking at the cameras. Where do you want me to look? Just introduce yourself to the room, not the camera crew. There's no one else in the room, but I do my best to turn into a grandfather clock and then a love seat. What's up? I'm Rocky. The camera crew doesn't say anything, like they're waiting for me to say more. And, wow, what a cool house. Look at all this neat shit. I wonder if that's a real human skull. Sick. The rector, who'd been talking to me, gives me a thumbs up. Nice. So you're all vampires too? The thumbs up disappears and he looks at me like I'm an idiot. Yeah, everyone who works on this show is a vampire. Are more vampires coming? Yes, we really need you to start acting like there are no cameras here. Just ignore us. Unless we tell you to do something, in which case, don't ignore us. That seems really confusing and kind of a lot to ask, considering how confusing my situation already is. Then I hear some footsteps in the hallway I came from. Someone else walks in. What's up, ladies? My name is Jason, and I'm here to crush the competition. Jason is a big dude and crushes what looks like a plastic cup in his hand as he talks. No, ladies, just me. Hi! Jason gives me a once-over that makes it clear he thinks I'm some kind of beta bitch, and then comes over to me. Sup, little man? Good to meet you. His grip is strong. I'm immediately nervous about having to compete against him, but at least he seems to have a better grasp on things than I do. Jason, right? I'm Rocky. Do you know what's going on? Rocky? Like the boxer? I get this a lot. It's annoying. Maybe I should get a new name now that I'm a vampire. Like Vlad. Too late though, because I've already introduced myself as Rocky. Maybe next time I can try out Vlad. Have they told you where we are? You'll just have to wait and see. He winks at me, and as annoyed as I am, it's kind of charming. Hello, am I in the right place? A woman walks in next. She smells like mango shampoo and talks at a normal volume. What's up, beautiful? I'm Jason. The little guy's Rocky. Joke's on you, idiot. I think it's hot when people call me a little guy. Hi. I'm Anya. Nice to meet you both. Are we the only ones here? Looks like it. Did anyone tell you what's going on? Well, I mean, I assume we're on some kind of TV show for vampires. Anya has a natural warmth that makes me not mind at all how patronizing she sounds. That makes sense. When I look over, Jason has dropped to the floor and started doing push-ups. How long have you been a vampire? Not long at all. Maybe a few weeks? It's hard to say for sure. Yeah, me too. A lie, but I don't want everyone knowing I just woke up like this. I already seem dumb enough not realizing this is a vampire TV show. Anya and Jason start talking about something, and I zone out. I'm really hungry. Or thirsty, I guess. Shit, am I going to need to kill someone? No, the tape said it's better not to. That's good, I think. Maybe they'll feed us soon, from blood bags or whatever, or a big fountain. I have a friend who's done extra work on Law and Order in the city, and they said they always feed you. It's like a union requirement. Is this show union? That's a good question. Jason scoffs at us. This is the vampire world, guys. There's no little labor unions here. We have an entirely differently structured society. Didn't your makers tell you that? Anya giggles. My maker told me the basics, but not every last detail. I guess I've still got a lot to learn. Anyone smart would be able to see that Anya is acting dumb on purpose, but Jason is... well... That's okay, babe. Stick with me. I'll show you the ropes. Suddenly I feel a stab of pain in my stomach. Hunger. I need to sit down. It's weird. It feels like being horny and sleepy and hungry and thirsty and wanting a hug all at once, except I only want one thing to fulfill all those needs. Blood. I wonder if Jason and Anya were given anything to eat. While I'm sitting on the couch thinking about how hungry I am, a couple more people file in. Hey guys, it's me, Tay, and don't worry, I may be a vampire now, but my dedication to Christ hasn't wavered one bit. Hi. Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Lilia. Grace Soliel, it's an honor to be here. I can't wait to get to know all of you. I mutter hellos, but don't get up. The longer I sit here, the more my head hurts. I want blood. Hi, Pony and raiding group. They all talk, and it sounds like no one has been a vampire for longer than half a year or so. So we're all new vampires. Maybe that's the show's shtick. Like a vampire boot camp for bloody baby bloodsuckers. The next guy who comes in just kind of looks at everyone with disdain. He's really beefy and has a shitty vibe. If I didn't have such a headache from wanting blood so badly, I'd get a better read on him. But instead, I'm just repeating to myself in my head, they've gotta feed us soon. They've gotta feed us soon. They've gotta feed us soon. A long shadow descends through the doorway, followed by some kind of bony giant. They've got to be at least 7 feet tall, and they hunch to get into the room. The hood of their shirt is up, and their entire face is covered by some kind of mask. Am I the last one here? Oh, the 8th to come in. I get it. That's cute. My name is 8. Nice to meet you. The hood and mask make 8 seem kind of intimidating, but their voice is friendly and musical. Everyone seems scared of them. They seem nice, but I'm too busy with my headache to say hey. Can somebody give me a clean I wonder what we're all doing here? I wonder what we're all doing here. The director gives a thumbs up. He's right to. Anya sounded very convincing. We're all strangers, right? I've never met any of you before. 8? How long have you been a vampire? A few months, I think. I haven't really been keeping track. So we've all been turned into vampires within the last year, and now we're in this big mansion full of cameras. I wonder what it all means. The director continues to give a thumbs up throughout the exchange. I don't say anything because the only thing I'll contribute is asking when we're going to eat, which I guess I'll probably have to ask pretty soon. What it all means? What a question. A voice booms into the room from no apparent source. You 8 wretched newborn vampires have been gathered here for one reason only. You are being given the chance to prove yourselves to save your miserable afterlives in a game of manipulation and strategy. Welcome to Fledgling Manor, streaming only on Drac Plus. My name is Nico, and I'm your judicially appointed host for the season. And what a season it is! Judicially appointed. What does that mean? And what did he say we're playing to win? Nico strides in the room wearing a big fur coat and no shirt, and all I can think is, now that is a vampire. I wonder if he always dressed like this, or if the production gave him the outfit. I wonder if I'll get a cool outfit too. But then I remember how hungry I am and raise my hand like we're at school. Before I can feel embarrassed about it, more than half the other contestants also raise their hands. I'm sure you all have a lot of questions, which will all be answered in due time. The most pressing question, however, will be answered right now. Nico finishes his sentences with a dramatic flair that also feels kind of sarcastic, like he's making fun of this whole thing. You're all probably wondering, when do we eat? They take us to a ballroom with floor-to-ceiling stained glass windows and a million chandeliers, but more importantly, a human heartbeat. Fuck, I feel... Fledgling vampires have a difficult time. I can't focus on what Nico is reading off of the producer's cue cards. I can't even really see the figures sitting in the middle of the ballroom, but I can hear them. I can kind of smell them. 2 heartbeats, all red and juicy and alive. To test your self-control, you must wait. What did you miss, DMC? We got into a car accident, and we woke up into a dungeon and listened to a cassette tape that was telling us about vampire puberty, basically. We didn't get to side B, and then we were shoved out onto the first scene of a reality TV show, and now we're at our first challenge. It's like I can feel their body heat already from this distance. And the last contestant to refrain will win, eh? If they weren't surrounded by big, scary-looking bodyguards, I would just run over and take a bite. But Nico said the word wait at some point, which means we probably have to wait for something. I tear my eyes away from the 2 living human beings throbbing and pulsing in the middle of the room to look around me. Stefan is smirking, still disdainful. Anya is grimacing. I can't tell what's happening behind 8's mask. Tay is gritting his teeth. Jason has gotten on the ground and started doing crunches. I don't remember what the other 2 are named, but one of them, the younger one, dashes over and takes a bite. Once the smell of fresh blood hits the air, I'm right behind her. There's no way to put into words what it's like. Maybe someone could do it, but I'm not that someone. An orgasm is the obvious comparison, and probably the closest thing. But fuck, the blood is better. It's way better. The guy I'm drinking from has a black hoodie on, and looks like the kind of guy I'd see at shows around Buffalo and Rochester. Maybe he is. Ugh. It must feel good for him too, because he's craning into my mouth and moaning. Okay, that's enough. One of the big bodyguards pulls me off the hoodie guy and sits me in a chair like I'm light as a doll. All I can do is lick my lips and slump happily in my seat. I feel fucking amazing. I close my eyes for a moment. And Anya is down! Now it's a standoff between Stefan and Jason. Who will be the last to fall? Alright, we're on a TV show. What had the host said? We're competing for something. A prize? The last person remaining will win. I can do this all day, man! 100, 101, 102, 103! Jason is still doing crunches on the floor. Stefan is just standing there, smirking, puffing out little laughs of derision occasionally. This looks easy for him. When I look around, I see that Tay is furiously trying to scrub the blood off of his face with little makeup wipes he keeps pulling out of a packet in his pocket. Grace, the older woman, is chatting with the producer. Lilia, the one who was the first to break, is collapsed over two chairs, still getting her bearings back. 8 finishes drinking and stumbles over to the rest of us, securing their mask back on their face and giggling. Fuck, I should have been paying closer attention. I could have looked under there and seen what they look like. Anya's the only one still drinking. The host, Nico, has said she just caved. A bodyguard had to drag me off my hoodie guy, but Anya doesn't need any help stopping. She pulls away from the human girl of her own accord. She wipes her mouth with the back of her hand and strokes the girl's face with the other. She sits down next to me, grinning. Feeling better? Feeling great. Me too. She leans back and hums a sigh of contentment. Who do you think's gonna win? Oh, Stefan's got this for sure. You think? Yeah, Jason's all show. Look how desperately he's doing those crunches. Stefan definitely looks more relaxed. Totally. But Jason seems like someone who'd really want to win that prize, especially the first one. It makes a statement. I don't know. When the first thing out of your bag of tricks is a life hack that incels use to stop jacking off, I'm not impressed. She has a nice laugh. I can still see the blood staining her teeth when she smiles. He's hot though, objectively. In kind of an annoying way. Not my type. What about Stefan? No, he doesn't seem very fun. I think Stefan is your type, though. We flirt and gossip and make little jokes for the rest of the competition. It's nice to have made a friend. What's more is, I don't know the last time I felt so relaxed. Fuck! Fuck! Jason seems to have crunched his way into the middle of the room. I watch him curse in despair before he gives in and takes a bite out of the same girl Anya was drinking from. It appears that the winner of the very first challenge is Stefan, who wins immunity from tomorrow night's calling. You may vote on which fledgling will be called. You may present arguments to the fledgling council, but you are in no danger of being voted out. You also win, eh? Nico squints to see the cube card better and rolls his eyes. You also win a hand-carved maple casket with premium satin and memory foam lining. To make sure you always get a good day's rest, courtesy of Cushing Casket Co. They lead us back out of the ballroom. Apparently that space is only supposed to be used for games and challenges. I can't help but picture those crazy obstacle courses you see on reality competition shows. Do vampires think slime is fun? A production coordinator starts talking at us through one of those cones cheerleaders use. Listen up, everybody. The rest of your night is free time. We're going to be following you with cameras and getting your interactions. If you want more blood, there's bags in the kitchen. Excuse me, can we leave? Great question, Lilia. No. Contestants cannot leave the premises until the show is wrapped. What about just getting outside and going for a run? His voice is gonna keep changing and I will not apologize. You are free to wander around the grounds, but you need to be back an hour before sunrise. You'll find ink and paper in your rooms to select nominees for elimination tomorrow night. What's to stop us from just leaving? Do you have a map and compass on you? Do you know where we are? I can tell you right now, we're in upstate New York in the middle of a heavily wooded area. If you just take off, there is a 99% chance you'll get lost in the woods and wander around until the sun comes up and burns you to a crisp. So, no leaving. No leaving. Well, that's alarming. The 1% chance of escape still kinda nags at me from the back of my mind. What should I be doing? I think back again to all those shows I watched with my grandma. If we're getting voted out of the house by the other fledglings, I have to get to know these people and get them to like me. An alliance would be good if people want to do an alliance, but I also shouldn't look too thirsty to join one. The basic strategy comes back to me pretty easily. Maybe being a vampire has made my memory better. Or not smoking weed has made my memory better. Unclear. But yeah, you generally want to ally with people who will help you get through the challenges, will last a long time in the game, aren't going to betray you, and will be a little bit less likable than you in case you make it to a situation where there's a fan vote. Okay, that sounds easy. Tay heads towards the kitchen. Stefan, Jason, and that weird quiet girl go back to the sitting room where we all made our introductions. Grace approaches Anya and starts talking to her. What I can overhear sounds super boring. 8 must have disappeared at some point. I can't see them anywhere. Where'd you go? I want to investigate the grounds, thank you. Seems like most of the other contestants are hanging out in the kitchen and sitting room, but I'm itching to get outside. I find a side door and step out into the gardens. It's a beautiful night. The moon is beaming down on the immaculately kept grounds. It's the kind of night I used to love to walk out into and take a deep breath of cool summer air. The kind of night that used to make me feel glad to be alive. Something in me is saying I should be sad about what I've lost, or terrified about what's coming. I'm dead. But emerging into the night feels right. Now that the hunger isn't quite so insistent, I feel confident, powerful. I always loved nights like this, but now I know on a deep level that the night belongs to me. Something is rustling in nearby bushes, maybe another nocturnal animal like me. Before I can think too much about it, I hear footsteps. Needed some fresh air? They chuckle under their mask. Sorry, terrible joke. How are you holding up, Rocky? Not too bad, considering. How about you? Oh, I'm alright. But then I've had a little longer to deal with all of this. What, have you been on this show before? On the show? No. I probably wouldn't be here talking to you if that was the case. What do you mean? Oh, sweetheart. Didn't you hear what the host said earlier? Only one of us is making it out of here. What? So, eliminated means... Eliminated. Dead. For real dead, I mean. What? How is that legal? Legal? Human laws don't apply to you anymore. What the elders say goes. So they can just kill us? They already did once, didn't they? Shit, my life is on the line, and I already botched the first challenge. We walk slowly through the grounds, no particular direction in mind. How are you so calm about all this? It's like I said, I have had a little more time to get used to it. As fledglings, we exist at the pleasure of the elders. In the past, they just did purges when our numbers got too large. At least this way, we had a chance. Purges? Why would vampires kill each other? Isn't it obvious? They're afraid of us. They've lived for hundreds and in some cases, thousands of years. The last thing they want is some upstart challenging their power. They try to control the creation of new vampires. The rules inevitably get broken. And too many of us running around means competition, not to mention heightened risk of discovery. So they find ways to keep the population down. That does make sense. I guess I can see the logic there. You catch on quick. Why doesn't anyone try to change things? Well, you were only turned in the last day or so, right? Why didn't you ever try to change the way rich people rule human society? If I was still capable of turning red, I would. I can count on one hand the number of protests I've been to in the last few years. I mean, I try to. People try to, but it's hard when you're trying to keep yourself alive. Not to mention they've got the cops on their side. Bingo. It's the same thing here. People try, but situations don't change overnight. The camera crews are so stealthy. I almost forgot they're there. But then I realize, should we be talking about this? Won't they punish us? They shrug, and their long, lanky body seems to twist and sway unnaturally in the moonlight for a moment. If they killed us now, it would ruin the show. But you might want to keep this kind of talk to a minimum around the others. The mention of the other contestants reminds me, 8 doesn't look like any other vampire here. Everyone else I've met, even Nico, just looks like normal people. Maybe a little pale or eccentric, plus the fangs, but otherwise you'd never know they were monsters. 8, though, they're stranger. They look more like, well, like a monster, but they move in this elegant, purposeful way. There's that mask, too. I wonder what they look like underneath it. Then I realize I haven't seen my reflection since the change. Hey, kind of a random question, but can we still see ourselves in the mirror? 8 laughs again. That same warm sound, I get the sense that they're not laughing at me, just at the absurdity of the situation. Sure we can. It'd be pretty tough to make a TV show if we didn't show up in mirrors or on cameras. Oh, right. Good point. Your maker really didn't tell you anything, did they? Everyone seems surprised about this. I guess it's a breach of vampire etiquette. I don't even know who they are. One minute I was at work delivering groceries, and then I was here. They left me a tape that explained a few things, but I think it was from the 70s. Wow, that's really shitty of them. I'm sorry they put you in this situation. Thanks. I'm still kind of reeling. Even if I get out of here, everything's going to be different, isn't it? They look kind of distant for a moment. Yes, one way or another, your old life is over. Feels like I was just born and thrown to the wolves, you know? I wish I just had a moment to process some of the shit, get my bearings. Well, maybe I can help. Should I be suspicious of them? What if they're doing this nice routine to get my guard down? What if they tell me a bunch of lies to trip me up? What did the tape cover? Let's see. It said we can't be out in the sun, that we're immortal, and that we have to drink blood. Plus some stuff about fondue in Vietnam. Well, those are the basics, yeah. Those people we bit earlier, will they change too? No, it doesn't work like that. To create a vampire, the maker has to kill someone by draining their blood, then give them some of their own. There was something on the tape about exceptions to the process. Do you know what that meant? They seemed to freeze up for a moment. I do. They aren't saying any more about it, clearly. Maybe it's some kind of vampire taboo. Well, do we really burn up in the sun? You want to find out? Not really, but I do wonder if it's possible to get out of here. Get it? Even if you were somehow able to find shelter, you'd be an outlaw. You'd never be welcome in polite society. You're right. Yeah, I guess I didn't think of that. It's a moot point anyway. Most of us can't keep moving when the sun starts to rise. Oh, damn. So it's the sun, fire, and stakes through the heart. Does that last one come into play much? Beheading. What? Beheading, too. Oh, right. Do vampires, get beheaded much? Or staked? Oh, it happens. More often they want another than humans, if that's what you're wondering. So there are vampire hunters? A handful, but mostly they're just stories that makers tell their children to get them to behave. What, be good or Van Helsing will come take you away? Exactly. What was your maker like? He was old-fashioned. What do you mean? Well, he was old, for one thing. Not old for a vampire, but nearly 200. 200 as an old? He was taught the old ways by his maker. They've fallen out of favor, for the most part, but some still stick to them. That said, if he'd really stuck to the traditions, they get a strange look in their eyes then, gazing off into the night. I have no clue what they're talking about. Anyway, we should be getting back. We crossed back through the grounds towards the house. It's still a couple hours until dawn, I think. You know, you're pretty easy to talk to. I think you might be the most normal person I've met so far. Just well-adjusted, I guess. And we could keep an eye out for each other? What, like an alliance? We'd need more than just the two of us for that one. Yeah, that's true. Your best bet if you want to make it through the next couple of nights is to lay low. Anyone who's playing smart is going to try to get rid of the biggest threats first. So the fact that you're a little guy who has no idea what's going on might actually work to your advantage. Thanks, I think. I'm going to get back to my room. See you tomorrow, Rocky. Sure thing. Good night. Good morning? Do people say that? I can see almost none of their face, but I still get the distinct feeling they're smiling at me. No, nobody says that. On my way back to my room, I can hear Jason talking to someone. I can't believe you've never seen the show. It's the best. Well, I haven't really had time to watch much TV. Wait, Jason's seen the show before? Too bad. I've studied every episode. No one else has a chance in this game. I head back to my room, only to find that the tape player and the stool are gone, replaced by a desk with some stationery and a pen. Right, the director had said something about nominating people for the elimination vote. You generally want to go with the flow early on and vote out either the person everyone likes the least, or get everyone to vote out someone who's big competition. There's one sheet of paper with a list of all the competitors. Think back on my night so far and scroll down the list of names. Anya. I like Anya. Seems like everyone likes Anya. No one is voting for Anya, so it'd be like throwing my vote away. Hey, no way. We just started an alliance, and they seem insanely cool. Grace, the older lady with the glasses who I heard talking about her experience in leadership or whatever. I think she was pitching Anya on an alliance, but I don't see how she's much of a threat. Jason, obnoxious. Check. Competitive. Check. Kinda hot? Check. I saw him talking to Lilia and Stefan, so they've probably all teamed up. He didn't get immunity in the first challenge, so it's a great chance to get rid of him. And I just heard him telling Tay he's seen every episode of the show we're on. That seems like a major red flag. Lilia, she's quiet and was the first person out during the challenge tonight. She really seems like she doesn't want to be here. I have no read on her otherwise. Rocky, that's me! Fuck! I hope no one nominates me. I'm playing it pretty safe. I'm middle of the pack. Ugh! I'm middle of the pack. I have my alliance with 8, but I fucked up my chance to talk to everyone when they came in earlier. Anya likes me, I think. I should really try to win immunity next time. This is way too stressful. Stefan's name is crossed out because he has immunity, and he gets to sleep in a comfy coffin today. Tay, he seems friendly. I didn't see him talking with anyone else tonight. A possible good addition to my alliance with 8? The choice is clear. Sorry, Jason. I circle Jason's name dramatically and show it to the camera before putting it in an envelope and leaving it on the desk. Some of my fellow contestants are kind of hot, in a cold and dead way, but still. That reminds me, can vampires fuck? I can't believe they took away my tape before I could get to side B. Bet that's what's on there. There's a pretty obvious way to figure out my sex question, but they've mounted a camera in the room that follows me when I pace around. Am I supposed to feel worse about this vampire thing? I am, right? I definitely am. Maybe being a vampire changes things like that, and now I'm just a cool guy who can't feel bad. Maybe I'm just in pure survival mode and it'll catch up with me when all this is over. Maybe I'll get executed before I ever get a chance to feel bad again. That'd be a sick silver lining. I wave to the camera and lie down on the floor. Good morning, sleep well, don't forget to buy my album when all this is over. I close my eyes and sleep comes easily. Jealous. I wake up the next night on the cold, hard floor of a dungeon, and I'm still a vampire. The envelope I left on my desk is gone. Someone must have come in while I was sleeping and collected it. I was always a light sleeper, so this spooks me a little. What are you guys doing in here while I'm asleep? What about privacy? Sheesh. There's not much downtime on the show. They want us back in the ballroom pretty much immediately after sundown. They've arranged the chairs in a circle in the center of the dance floor, and there are a lot of cameras. It seems unreasonable that they need this many cameras to film us sitting in a circle. The chairs have name cards on them, and I find mine between Jason and Grace. Welcome back, fledglings! How did you sleep? Like the dead, Nico! Jason snaps and gives Nico double finger guns. Stefan, did you enjoy your prize? Sure. The PA holds up a cue card for Nico to read. And now we begin our very first fledgling council. 2 of you have been nominated by the others for elimination. Were the choices strategic or simply a case of bad personalities? Convince your fellow fledglings to keep you around, and you may have a chance of finding out. Another PA hands Nico a big envelope, like the kind they open at awards shows. Our nominees for the first calling are Grace and Jason. Phew! Not me. I didn't think I'd be nominated, but it's still a relief. I see similar relief on the faces of those around me. Except Stefan, who didn't have any reason to be anxious in the first place, and the 2 nominees. Grace and Jason are sitting on either side of me, and judging from their tense postures, I guess they're pretty nervous right about now. Jason, Grace, you will have the chance to make your case to save yourselves from imminent execution. After that, you may all discuss and ask questions before privately casting your final votes. They flip a coin to determine who makes their case win. Grace wins, opting to go last. Jason fusses his leather jacket to look maximally cool as he stands up and then addresses us. I had a feeling this might happen. I get it. You see this big, smart, strong, charming guy and you think, that dude's a threat. But in my short time here, I've made connections with almost all of you. And you know in your hearts I'm worth keeping around. He goes around the circle and addresses everyone. Anya, what's up, beautiful? You were one of the first fledglings I met here, and I don't think I didn't see you in that challenge last night, girl. You're something else. You're a serious competitor. I'd love to get to know you better. Tay-Tay, my man! I had such a good time talking to you last night about content creation and social media strategy. You're a great guy. Hey, we didn't get much of a chance to get to know each other yet, and that's on me. I'd love to talk, get your story, see what you're all about. Stefan, the boy! I love you, dude! If we were allowed to leave the show alive, I'd say I'd made a friend for life in you, brother. I just want to go head-to-head with you in more of these challenges, because to be the best, you gotta beat the best. Rocky Balboa, Rockman, Schoolhouse Rock, you were my first buddy in this house, and that means so much to me. You're a guy who gets it. I know we can have some more good talks together, man. And finally, Lilia, if there's one thing I do before one of us dies, it's help you come out of your shell and reach your full potential, girl. Maybe kiss a little, I don't know, I'm just joking. But because I respect women enough to kid around with women. In fact, I respect all of you enough to kid around with all of you, to try to get to know you. just because our hearts aren't beating anymore doesn't mean we can't do a heart-to-heart. Lastly, and in conclusion, you also don't know if you're gonna need some muscle for a big physical team challenge. So it's bad strategy to get rid of me now. Jason sits down looking confident and turns to me with a big smile. He claps me on the shoulder and goes back to shooting the same big smile at everyone else. As for everyone else, they still seem uncomfortable, but Jason's kind of endearing. He really did go and talk to everyone, it seems like, except 8. Thank you, Jason. Now, Grace, the floor is yours. Grace stands up and coolly smooths out her clothes before plastering a big fake smile on her face. Good evening. I've spoken with most of you, but I wanted to take this time to tell you a little bit more about myself. The whole mood shifts when we realize we are Grace's captive audience. She's got the kind of smile HR gives you right before you get bad news, like you're getting laid off or got caught jerking off in the bathroom on your 15-minute break. The tone of voice says, no one's getting a bonus this year. It says, if you can lean, you can clean. I look around and realize she's already lost everyone on vibes alone. It makes me feel kind of bad for her until she looks right at me and starts talking again. My history of corporate leadership makes me the clear choice for who you should keep around, but my leadership didn't begin when I entered into the corporate world. I've been an entrepreneur since I was. Everyone's eyes glaze over. I'm out. I can't do it. There's no way I can listen to this. Grace drones on and on and on. I see some of the cameramen yawning. Psst, you. When do I cut her off? You don't. There's no time limit. So we just have to sit here and wait? Welcome to the show. The only person who seems happy during all of this is Jason, weirdly enough. He leans back in his chair casually, looking up at Grace like she's giving him a present. At one point, he even puts his hand on my knee and gives it a friendly squeeze, like he's a little too excited to sit still. Grace talks about herself for almost an hour, and it's torture. It's actual torture. Not a single person is going to vote to keep her now. I want to apologize to Jason. I didn't know, dude. I didn't know she was this bad. I don't need to check with Aid about what we're doing. The choice is obvious. Grace has to go. By the time Grace is finished, everyone looks like their soul has been sucked out of them. Nico shovels back out with much less verve than he'd had before. Oh, well, thank you, I guess, Grace. That was... well, it's over. He winces. Does anyone have any questions or discussion? We all wordlessly shake our heads. What? Grace looks surprised. That's a mercy. Alright, let's vote. We go one by one to a curtained-off area by the ballroom. Inside, there's an antique desk and a red candle, another piece of paper, a knife, and a little gold thing. The names Grace and Jason are written on the paper in Gothic calligraphy. I look to a PA to ask what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so you're gonna want to cut your thumb with the knife and put your thumbprint down next to the fledgling you want to be executed. Make sure the camera sees it, then fold it, seal it with wax, and drop it into the basket. But he points to the floor where there's an old basket. Okay, I'll try to remember all that. Seriously? No reaction to the basket? Oh, I glance at the basket again. It looks really old and kind of gross. I think there's some stains on it. But eyes clear, the PA wants me to be impressed. Oh wow, yeah, great basket. Cool. That's Robespierre's head basket, kid. Oh? Ugh, never mind. I vote for Grace, obviously. Everyone else is voting for Grace, and you always have to vote with the group early on in these shows. My man is right on top of me, shooting over my shoulder as I press my thumb down next to Grace's name. Sorry, Grace, but you dug your own grave tonight. PA does end up having to show me how to use the wax seal thing. He also seems to hate me permanently for not knowing about his friend with the basket. Once everyone's back in their seats and a makeup artist has touched up Nico, the cameras start rolling again. Nico stands up in front of us and begins to speak. Blood has been spilt. Now all the votes will be tallied. One fledgling shall be culled this night. He reaches into the basket and opens the ballots one by one. 1 vote to call Grace. 1 vote to call Jason. 2 votes to call Grace. Another vote to call Grace. That's 3. 4 votes. 4 votes to call Grace. And 5 votes to call for Grace. That's it. 5 out of 8. Grace looks stunned. Nico keeps going, continuing to count every ballot. 6 votes to call Grace. And the cold fledgling by a vote of 7 to 1 is Grace Soliel. Wow! She looks at Anya and Tay with disgust. Apologies, child, but your time has come. Grace looks at all of us. I love being alive, and I was really trying to make the best of being a vampire. You're all snakes. She follows Nico out of the circle. Hogging the mic in council is like classic Fledgling Manor misstep, but that may be the worst fumble of a defense I've ever seen in any season, including seasons of Dejungling. Save it, Jason. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. We're let out into the courtyard. What's happening now? We wait for a few minutes for the crew to set up their cameras and lights outside. Their presence makes it all feel so surreal, like maybe this isn't really happening. Grace walks out and stands in front of us, flanked by Nico and someone I don't recognize. The third vampire is much smaller than Nico, and her face is covered by a studded mask. It kinda looks like something Kanye used to wear before he went off the deep end. Or during, I guess. He's holding a deadly looking curved sword. Wait, you're not going to make us... Wretched fledglings! Meet the executioner! Executioner, wretched fledglings. You have cast your vote. You have decided which among you will meet their ultimate demise. And now, you will watch as your will is carried out. I don't want to see this. What a shame. Attendance is mandatory. No way! We have to watch her die? It's okay, Tay. It'll be over quick. You're still talking like you've never seen someone die before. I haven't. Is that so? Take a good look. Leave him alone, Stefan. You watch too, Anya. You might learn something. There's nothing to learn from this. On the contrary. We're about to watch something die that thought it was immortal. Personally, I find that fascinating. Silence! We're all startled into shutting up. Nico gets this big, sick grin on his face. I always wanted to do that. Now, executioner, if you please. The executioner forces Grace down onto her knees. She brings the sword up high above her head, steel glinting in the moonlight. I want to look away. I'd give anything to look away. But I can't. I look into Grace's eyes, expecting to see. I don't know what I'm expecting to see. Fear and hatred, maybe? But I don't see anything. Grace looks out of it, barely present. Maybe this experience has broken her will. The sword comes down like a guillotine blade and severs Grace's head from her shoulders. Her body collapses forward as her head rolls across the flagstones. I'm terrified that it won't stop, that it will keep rolling until it bumps into my feet. But the body and head that just moments ago used to be Grace instantly dissolve into dust. I feel like I'm going to be sick. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. 1 fledgling falls and 7 remain. Lilia's turned away. Tay looks like he might cry. Anya's trying to comfort him. 8 lurks behind them, shaking their head. Even Jason seems like he's at least trying to act somber. Only Stefan seems unfazed. He's just standing there, the barest hint of a smile. I don't know what to think. She's gone. For real. It's like I said, there's nothing to learn from this. Well, maybe that's not entirely true. You've learned how cruel vampire society really is. It's too much. I can't deal with this. Everyone files back into the house. I just watched someone die. I mean, she was already dead, but now she's gone. Grace O'Leal will never again give an irritating speech about synergy. Yeah, she was annoying, and I probably never would have hung out with her while I was alive. But I didn't want her to die. I don't want anyone here to die. Those are the rules, though. I guess it just didn't really sink in until I saw it happen. I need to get out of here. What did they say yesterday? We're in the middle of nowhere, but there aren't a lot of guards or anything. I don't know where I am, I don't have my phone, and if I don't find shelter before daybreak, I'll burn to a crisp. Still, I'm starting to weigh my odds. If I stick around, I've only got a 1 in 7 chance of making it out alive. Actually, let's be real. It's probably a lot lower than that. I'm pretty sure everyone here has a lot more experience as a vampire than me. What are the chances I'll be able to win any challenges? Then again, maybe I can coast by on my natural charm and total lack of threat profile. Yeah, right. I don't want to die. But it's not just that. The idea of voting for anyone else here to be killed really freaks me out. Maybe I should just go for it. It's not worth it. Running to death at dawn on my own doesn't sound like a great way to go. If I'm going to die, I'd rather spend my last few nights around other people. Anyway, there's a chance I could win. Everyone loves an underdog, right? We'll see, I guess. I'm so lost in my thoughts that I nearly stumble into someone. I look up, and it's Stefan. His expression shifts in an instant from stony to gleeful. It's fucked up. He seems like a fucked up guy. Enjoy the show. I just want to go back to my room, man. What are you going to do there? Sulk? Try and think of a way out of here? There are only 2 ways out of this, and only one where you come out alive. Listen, Stefan, what's your problem? We just saw someone die. I mean, we barely knew her, and she was pretty irritating, but doesn't that affect you at all? He pauses for a moment like he's surprised by the question. No, it doesn't. Are you serious? Deadly. Were you always like this, or did becoming a vampire just make you an asshole? You think I'm an asshole, huh? The way he asks, I'm worried he might actually take a swing at me. Well, you're acting like one. None of us really know what's going on. Except Jason, I guess. And we're just trying to process this as best we can. You're not helping with the psycho act. I don't know if you're trying to scare us or throw us off our game or what, but can you cool it even a little? He just stares at me for a moment and then cracks a wide, terrifying smile. I'm not trying to throw you off your game, Rocky. I'm trying to help you. What? I'm trying to help all of you. I don't know who you were or where you came from, but guess what? I don't care either, because that person is dead. You are no longer a human being, and you need to stop acting like one. Grace is dead? What are you going to do about it? Cry? You can't even produce tears anymore. You're a walking corpse. It sucks to think about it that way, but I guess he's right. If I wanted to undermine you, to throw you off, do you know what I'd be doing? I'd be saying, don't worry, Rocky. Everything's going to be fine. We'll find a way out of here. I'd be giving you false hope. I'm not here to play. I have no interest in the degenerate games of the elders. I don't intend to end up decapitated for their amusement, but I'm not going to go out of my way to entertain them either. What do you mean, degenerate games? That's what this is, after all. It gets boring living for an eternity, or so I've heard. They devised little spectacles, ways of passing the time. There were others before Fledgling Manor, and there will be others after it. But for now, this is how they get their kicks, by watching as a bunch of newly turned vampires struggle and scheme to keep their immortal lives. They've been around so long they've forgotten what it means to be one of us. And what does it mean? It means the thrill of the hunt. It means reveling in the taking of lesser life to sustain your own. It means meat and bone and blood. Jesus Christ, I don't know if I should be scared or turned on. You're really into all this, huh? He laughs, a single bark that seems to echo through the halls. Yes, I am. It's in your interest to find a way to get in touch with all this, too. Nothing good comes from fighting your nature. He slams one hand into the wall next to my head, looking down into my eyes. He's got at least a foot of height on me. Pursuing your primal lust, overcoming your prey, these are the things that make existence worthwhile. Are we still talking about being a vampire? He flashes his teeth at me cruelly. Good night, Rocky. Don't shed any bloody tears over the dead. He leaves without another word. What a fucking psycho. Do I really cry blood now? Maybe it was Stefan's little speech. Maybe it's shock, but I don't feel like I'm at any risk of finding out tonight. I head back to my room. I wish I could smoke some weed or something to calm down. Then I realize I'm not even sure if I can smoke weed anymore. Maybe I'll have to have someone else get high than drink their blood. I think weed ends up in your blood, right? Drugs go in your blood? You usually do a urine test at jobs, but that's probably just because it's easier. I really didn't know much about my body, about how my body worked as a human, and I know even less now. I should try and figure out some of this tomorrow. Good night, whoever's watching. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far, you sick fucks. Episode 2! See you in hell. Up again! It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like waking up used to. It's more like them coming to life. Do I just become a corpse during the day now? When I was a kid, I used to worry that I died every time I went to sleep. Maybe because I saw this old movie called Dark City too young. But now it feels a bit more literal. Like I'm completely dead to the world from sunup to sundown. I know someone's been in and out of my room during the day. Servants, maybe? Would I even wake up if someone tried to attack me while I was out? Kind of freaks me out to think about. I can hear the PAs moving through the house. My senses are so much better than they used to be. I guess we're going to have our second challenge tonight. Maybe it'll be something I actually have a shot at winning. I head towards the voices when a PA stops me. He talks into his walkie. I have eyes on Rocky. Eh? We need to film your confessionals and take some photos. So, Rocky, tell me about yourself. It takes hours. I always said I liked the cutaway interviews the best when I'd watch reality shows, but filming these is nothing like that. I don't remember how I felt when I walked in. I don't want to act like I still don't know the stakes of the show. I do it anyway, because the lights are so bright and I can't leave until I've done it. Ugh. They finally release me and I'm herded towards the ballroom. How am I supposed to win a challenge in this state? I haven't felt this shitty since I had to take the SATs. We line up and listen to Nico's instructions. I'm not the only one who looks haggard. I bet a bunch of others had to do the same thing I just did. Even Nico already looks tired of playing the host. I wonder if he has to film little segments too. Fledglings! Welcome to your second challenge. Last week we tested your self-control. This week we will test your intelligence. Why is he talking about weeks? That was 2 nights ago. I guess the show will air weekly. The challenge is solving some kind of puzzle box. We all get one, and it's a race to see who can solve theirs first. A successful vampire must be able to outwit their enemies and their prey. That's what Nico tells us anyway. I don't know what opening an old box has to do with that. One of the PAs flips a big hourglass to time us. I gotta try to win this thing. I look down at my puzzle box. It kinda reminds me of that movie where those demons show up and rip your skin off if you open the box. Then I get distracted. Vampires are real? Are demons? Is hell? Was Christianity basically right this whole time? Do I have a soul? Or did I have one and it's gone now? There's a lot of existential implications to all this that I haven't had time to think through yet. Fuck! I get so distracted that I can barely focus on trying to solve this stupid thing. Finally, I'm startled out of my daze by Nico announcing the winner. Congratulations, Tay! You outwitted the other fledglings. You win immunity from tomorrow night's calling. You may vote on which fledgling will be called. You may present arguments to the fledgling council, but you are in no danger of being voted out. It looks like Tay managed to do it. Good for him. You also win. Ooh, this is a good one. 1 hour of supervised phone time, to be used by sunrise. Tay seems genuinely excited for that. We all hand in our puzzle boxes. What the hell was the point of this anyway? The first challenge I could kind of understand, but why do we need to be able to solve puzzles? I spot Nico chatting to a PA after the challenge scene is over. So, are those like ancient artifacts or something? He looks down over his sunglasses at me. They're made of plastic, Rocco. Rocky. Whatever. I catch 8's eye as we're leaving the ballroom. I nod towards Tay and Anya and raise my eyebrows. They nod back. The first night was an insane time to form a final 2 alliance with someone I know basically nothing about. But it's what I've got to work with now. We need to start bringing in more people. Now that their thing with Grace is over, Tay and Anya would be perfect additions. Damn, Tay, congrats, bro! That's awesome! You really killed it tonight. Thanks! I'm excited to get a phone! Smart! You're thinking... Look up past seasons. Maybe pick up some strategy. That's what I would do, too. No, I'm just gonna catch up on TikTok. Fuck. I lost again. I really wanted to win this one. But if I get nominated for execution tonight, I can't imagine why they would nominate me, but I also can't imagine why they wouldn't. It's also arbitrary. Grace lost her life last night because she made the mistake of being super annoying at exactly the wrong moment. I'm not Grace, but it's also not like I'm some gleaming beacon of never being annoying. I have been annoying at the wrong times. I have been tactless in the past. One time I lost a job because I wrote a song called I Want to Murder Everyone I Work With, and people found out about it. I didn't even mean it like that. People misunderstand me a lot, which has me really freaked out. I have to make sure I play smart. Okay, you already knew the drill. Free time to talk and do what you wish. As long as we wish to be followed by cameramen. Exactly. Everyone disperses. 8 and Tay look like they're heading to the kitchen. Stefan follows Lilia to the side corner. Jason mopes out in the garden. Anya follows Jason outside. Where do I want to spend my evening? I don't fucking know. I already introduced myself to 8, so that makes me happy. Probably want to follow Anya and Jason because we talked to 8. They're pretty friendly. And Tay's pretty friendly. I think they're gonna be fine. What do y'all think? While I rest my voice a bit. But Jason is there. Anya's hot. Yeah, Anya and Jason. I would love to talk to Anya, but Jason is there. I want to try and romance 8 because I love them. But Anya's a close second. I think I want to try and get on Anya's good side. 8 is chatting with Tay. I can talk to Anya and see what we can make happen. When I get out into the garden, I see Anya and Jason are already talking. Jason looks kind of down. I just really thought I was gonna get this one, but it's cool. Gotta keep grinding. Of course, honey. You're doing great. You have nothing to be embarrassed about. Oh, I'm not embarrassed. He pauses, like maybe he's considering whether or not he should be embarrassed. He's just really good at puzzles. You'll get him when it's a running and jumping competition or just something. Jason has been talking a big game, but hasn't won anything yet. And he was just one C-suite weirdo. And he was just one C-suite weirdo ego trip away from getting beheaded last night. A door opens and one of the cameras pans over to see who's come out. It's Lilia. I just overheard 8 and Tay talking in the kitchen. They're saying they're going to nominate you, Jason. What? Again? I definitely saw Lilia talking to Stefan, but they were walking in the opposite direction from the kitchen. That wasn't even that long ago. Am I getting paranoid and imagining things? I'd like to save, please. Save. I wonder if she's telling the truth. I'm glad that 8 has already gotten to Tay, but they could have been a little more discreet. Oh well, it's not like their plan is some crazy blindside that requires perfect secrecy. Tay is nice enough. He'd be a good get. Hopefully I can get Anya on board too. They're saying that since Tay has immunity in this cycle, it's the best chance to get rid of one of the bigger, stronger, louder fledglings. That doesn't mean they're talking about me. I'm playing this game pretty subtle. Is he serious? Jason, you're the loudest one here. And you've actually seen the show before. They're probably talking about Stefan if they're talking about anybody. I'm pretty sure I heard them saying, "Thanks for looking out for me, Chica, but me and Tay are boys. I bonded with 8 earlier in the hallway. We talked outerwear." Did he call her Chica? I'm hallucinating, right? Jason, sweetie, you have to admit you're a target. It's okay. We're all going to be targets eventually. No, that's not true! Jason's normally a pretty loud guy, but this is on another level. I've never heard him sound like this before. Stefan is the target! He won the last challenge, so we should get rid of him now! He's screaming with his hands balled up into fists. So that's the plan! It'll be all of us and the 2 of them in the kitchen who will vote Stefan. If he was alive, he'd be red in the face. He'd have veins bulging out of his forehead. It almost feels like he's going to start stomping his feet like a kid throwing a tantrum. And who knows who Stefan will vote for? Doesn't matter. He's already 5,000. Right, guys? We're all speechless after his little outburst. Awesome! We have a plan! That makes me feel a lot better. Thanks, guys! He pulls each of us into a bone-crushing hug. We're gonna get through this, homies. I feel all my limbs to make sure he didn't actually break anything. I guess I should get back in there and start making some game moves. Maybe find Stefan and get into his head a little. Peace and love. We all stand there in silence for a second. I'm feeling kind of awkward. I open my mouth to talk and can't really think of anything. Does anyone have a cigarette? I don't smoke really, but that's supposed to be good for stress, right? Maybe I should start. Not like I have to worry about lung cancer anymore. Lilia and Anya both shake their heads. I look into the camera crew. One of them makes a call on their walkie. I mean, the thing is... Anya nods like she knows what Lilia is about to say. Tay and 8 made some good points. About Jason? Think about it. He's seen every season of the show, including the Jungling. What is that? The Dutch version. Fledgling Manor is based on a Dutch TV show called De Jongling. And Jason's seen every season of that too? I'm still stuck on the way Lilia keeps saying De Jongling. It sounds ridiculous. At least I'm not on that show, because having my life on the line is in a setting where everyone is talking in funny words would be a total mindfuck. Yeah, he's an expert. I wonder if every Dutch word sounds that crazy. Are you Dutch? Lilia falters for a second. No, I'm Canadian. Actually, I speak a little Dutch. Weird fucking language. Anya smiles. That's so cool. I would love to speak another language. Have you done a lot of traveling? It's really not a big deal. I know a lot of words in a lot of languages. De Jongling. Wild. Anya ignores me and continues talking with Lilia. Ugh. How interesting. Why is that? I've done some traveling, yeah, with my family. Oh, that's so nice. To Europe? Mostly Europe, North Africa, the Middle East. Wow, what's your favorite? I've always wanted to go to Italy. Lilia doesn't say anything. She looks like she has a stomachache. Did you ever go to New Zealand? Or Utah? Sweetie, are you okay? I wasn't trying to embarrass you or anything. I just think it's really admirable when people have special skills or talents. I hope I didn't upset you. I'm not upset. I did all that traveling with my parents and they've both passed away, so it's sad for me, that's all. Anyway, I think we should vote out Jason while we have the chance. Aren't you in an alliance with Jason? You are in an alliance with Grace. These things aren't set in stone. Whoa, that's cold-blooded. She shrugs. I make a note not to trust Lilia. PA arrives and hands me a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. Nice. Time to become a cool smoker. Except don't smoke. I light up and Lilia wrinkles her nose. I'm gonna go inside. Give what we talked about some thought. I put the lit cigarette to my mouth and have a startling realization. It turns out since I don't breathe, I have no idea how to smoke a cigarette anymore. I mime the basic motions and hope Anya doesn't notice I'm not actually smoking it. If 8 is talking to Tay, this is my chance to talk to Anya. Ah, cool and casual. Don't show my cards too early. How's your alliance with Tay going? He seems like a cool person. We hadn't really talked about it since the execution, but yeah, I like Tay. It kinda sounds like Tay is pulling 8 into your alliance, and I've had some conversations with 8. About the show? Yeah, I mean, you, me, Tay, Nate would be 4 votes. We can make things go however we want. What about the Anya, Rocky, Jason, Lilia alliance? Did you see how amped Lilia was to turn on Jason? There's no way she can be trusted. I'm listening. Jason and Stefan both have pros and cons. Let's hear your analysis, Mr. Reality Show expert. So, Jason knows a lot about the show, which is a con, but he's also pretty dumb, which is a huge pro. Uh-huh. He's a classic meat shield. What's a meat shield? I'm so glad you asked. A meat shield is a big, strong, loud guy who smaller, shrewder players hide behind and then get rid of when they don't need him anymore. And this is a thing on reality shows. Absolutely, it's a classic archetype. What are the pros and cons of Stefan? Stefan isn't dumb, so we can't manipulate him as easily as we can manipulate Jason. But I heard him saying he hasn't ever seen the show. He said that? It was more like scoffing when I asked if he'd seen it, but I'll take it. And Jason is some kind of Fledgling Manor mega fan, which makes him dangerous. I guess we just have to make sure they're the 2 on the final ballot tomorrow, and then we can play the rest by ear. Feel it out, yeah? That's a good plan. I finish my cigarette and stub it out. Jason is going to nominate Stefan. One step for Stefan. Stefan and Lilia are probably going to nominate Jason. 1 for Stefan, 2 for Jason. Let's say you and I vote 1 each. 2 for Stefan, 3 for Jason. 8 and Tay were talking about nominating Jason, right? Lilia was the one who said that. Do you trust her? No. We do math like that for a while before Anya leaves to track down 8 and Tay to make sure there are no surprise nominees tomorrow night. Thinking is exhausting work, am I right? The camera crew looked pretty bored after the remedial logic class they just had to document. Can any of you tell me if vampires can smoke? Follow-up question, can vampires smoke weed? And second follow-up question, can vampires get high from weed? I wandered back into the building through a weird side door I hadn't seen before. I feel a lot better than I did during the challenge. Time to get to my room for nominations. I've headed back to my room when I run into Stefan in one of the millions of corridors and hallways this place has. Just the lost little lamb I was looking for. He's giving me another one of those creepy smiles. I'm going to be nominated for tomorrow night's calling. Stefan looks at me really closely, like he's trying to get a read on my reaction to what he's telling me. With him scrutinizing me on one side and the camera filming us on the other, I feel totally invaded, like I have zero privacy of any kind. I play it cool. This is all going according to plan, I think. Where'd you hear that? Don't worry about where I heard it. The others want to get rid of either me or Jason. Okay. What about your alliance? Stefan scoffs. It's time to give up on your childish reality show tactics and start thinking like the predator you are. The alliance is over. When it comes down to calling me or calling Jason, do you know what your choice will be? I'd have to think about it. Why should I keep you around? Stefan scoffs again. This guy loves to scoff. What, do you want me to beg you to nominate Jason? Do you want me to stoop to your level of sneaking around forming little alliances? Do you want me to make you promises or negotiate something with you? I'm not going to do any of that. So that's your pitch? Your pitch is that you won't work with me? Great! Really impressive! Incredible strategic acumen. Stefan puffs out another one of his little derisive laughs. I wonder if he has any other modes than surly and scoffing. He looks at me like I'm a little worm on the ground. I don't have a pitch. I have an observation. Sure, hit me with it. I'm an asshole, right? I'm unpleasant. I say things you don't like hearing. I'm uncooperative and rude. You said it, not me. We're monsters, Rocky. We're blood-sucking, immortal predators. Every last one of us is a monster. I guess if you want to put it like that. I don't want to put it like that. It is like that, and no one else will say it. Do you wonder why that is? Why no one else will say it? Some are scared and some are ashamed. Some are so deep in denial about who they are that they're lost in their own delusions. And some, Rocky, some are lying right to your face. And you're better than them because, what, you're more honest? God, no. Well, he considers it for a second and then laughs. It's not the mean laugh I've heard before. He sounds genuinely entertained. Honest isn't the word I would have used, but if you want to think of it that way, I guess you can. Don't hide the monster. I don't hide the monster that I am. The rest of them do. Stefan's voice gets low and breathy. He puts a hand on my shoulder and looks right into my eyes. So what you need to ask yourself, Rocky, is, what are the rest of them hiding? That's actually a decent argument, at least for Stefan over Jason. I saw Jason's cracks starting to show tonight, and they made him seem volatile. Having an unpredictable element in the mix could be rough. Stefan is predictable in that he'll always choose the shitty thing to say. He'll always opt to save himself over others. He'll always be a ruthless asshole. I take a step back and Stefan's hand falls off my shoulder. Okay, you made some good points. I'll give it some thought. He smirks at me, giving me the most obvious once-over I have ever seen. Okay, cool. I guess I'll see you tomorrow then. Good talk, man. Stefan is still looking at me as I walk away. Back in my room, there's another nomination form. It's basically the same list as the first time, but it feels so much heavier this time around. Something twists up inside of me when I realize how casually I was talking about this vote all night. I keep forgetting about what the stakes are and finding myself having fun. As I read each name, I can't help but picture them on their knees in the courtyard like Grace. Someone on this list won't exist in 24 hours. Then I have a thought. What if I circle more than one? Or don't circle any of them? What's that called again? A ruined ballot? Would they just not count it? Or would there be some kind of punishment? I guess I'd be relying on everyone else doing the same. In that case, maybe they just kill us all. Still, that wouldn't be much of a show. Probably they're just counting on our natural selfishness. I was feeling all hyped on alliances at the start of the night, but after talking with Stefan, it's so clear to me how little of that means anything. Tay, Anya, and 8 decided on Jason, and Stefan as the 2 nominees. I can't actually remember which one I was assigned to nominate. Who's it going to be? Anya, I think she's still safe. She's sort of settling into a mom friend kind of role. Plus, I don't really want to vote for her. 8. Maybe, but probably not. They're just too nice. I could be getting suckered, but I'd rather be a sucker than a cynical creep. Jason, definitely a possibility. It's not that I want him to die, but he just hasn't made a great case for himself. Lilia, I don't really know much about her, but something about Lilia is a little unsettling, but that's not really enough to push me to nominate her. Rocky, there I am again. I wonder if anyone else is circling my name right now. I hope I've kept a low enough profile that it doesn't come to that, but I guess we'll see. Stefan, he is a possibility for sure. The guy is a genuine psychopath. Tay, Tay-Tay's got immunity, so his name is crossed out. I wish I'd been able to win this challenge, but Tay at least seems like a pretty nice dude. Sounds like it's between Jason and Stefan. I think back to my conversation with Stefan about nominating Jason over him. I don't know. Am I convinced? Oh, holy shit, hold on. I honestly hate Jason. But I also don't like Stefan. Hmm. Jason would be easier to get rid of later. But I really hate Jason. You'd rather the stupid meat shield over the alpha predator? Yeah. He's way too smart. I think it would be safer to get rid of Stefan. And since I don't want to smooch him, I don't feel bad. I really want to smooch 8. So if I vote, so if we get rid of Stefan, are you going to be able to stand having Jason around a little bit longer? I don't like how it's so silent. I do like the hang in there poster. Inserts, I guess. Okay. Um. Okay, so did Stefan convince me to keep him around? He didn't. Of everyone here, I feel the least bad about nominating Stefan. The guy is a freak. He's honest about it, but so what? I'm nominating Stefan. I circle Stefan's name and show the camera, put it in an envelope and leave it on the desk. Another nomination. There'll be another council tomorrow night. Then we'll have to watch it happen again. There are moments when I can almost forget what's going on, when I'm chatting with someone and it's like everything is normal for a second. Then I see one of the cameras and remember what this all is. Why aren't we all running? Why don't we all work together to fight our way out of this? I guess because there's nowhere we can go even if we manage to escape. That's probably why the show works in the first place. Or it's an authority thing. Like those experiments where they got people to shock one another just by wearing a lab coat. I barely know anything about vampire society, but it mostly just seems like the human world cranked up to the extreme. I'm sure there are rich psychos out there who would absolutely set up a real-life Hunger Games if they could. I mean, it took how long for someone to recreate Squid Game? I don't think they actually killed anyone for that, but still. Maybe I'm being too generous. Maybe becoming a vampire really does mean losing your soul. That would explain both the show in the first place and the fact that we're so willing to accept this. Grace was, well, not easy, but the easiest choice. Things are only going to get harder from here. Time for bed. Here we go again. Someone opens my door. Calling call times in 15 in the ballroom. You guys should unionize. Very funny. Seriously, how are you already up? The PA shakes his head at me. You have no idea, kid. Most of us have been up working for hours. You're the only ones who get to sleep in. I'm dead asleep until I wake up, so I can't imagine how that works. Maybe it's a skill you develop with time. We're back in the ballroom for another round to decide who dies. I wonder if the vampires watching at home will be taking bets on eliminations. If nothing else, killing off everyone who is eliminated probably makes it a lot easier to keep everything a secret until the show airs. Maybe Jeff Probst should start doing that. I find my name card on a chair between Anya and Tay as everyone settles in. Time to find out who's up for execution. Welcome back to the Fledgling Council! He seems upbeat. Or maybe he just ate. Or maybe he got a note about needing more on-screen energy. Once again, you have nominated two amongst you for eviction. In Fledgling Manor, there is no housing court to appeal to after the fact. The PA hands Nico the envelope with this round's nominations on it. We're all anxious for him to get it over with, but just as he starts sliding one of his long nails into the fold, he stops. Where are my manners? Tay, did you enjoy your phone time? Tay seems startled by the sudden attention. Oh, yeah, I caught up with a lot of my favorite TikTokers. Priya 2002 went to Korea and made this really great vlog about where she's met up with some local content creators over there. They did karaoke and she sang Hillsong and great, that's just great. I'm glad Tay had a nice time on the internet, but I'm a little thankful that Nico cut him off. Hearing what people's favorite TikTok stars are up to is almost as bad as hearing about their dreams. Well then, without further ado, he slides one nail down the envelope and delicately produces the results of our nominations. Stefan. I glanced at him, stone cold. He knew this was coming, and it didn't seem to faze him a bit. And Jason. On the other hand, Jason's jaw has dropped. Maybe he thought he was in the clear after he dodged that bullet at the first council. But it's not like he's gotten any less Jason-like. As in the first week, we will now open up the council to allow both nominees to speak in their defense. Jason, Stefan, would either of you like to go first? Up to you, big man. Okay, I'll go first. Fine by me. Second. Suit yourself. Jason is clearly sweating. Stefan is, well, he's acting like Stefan, but I still don't see how he couldn't be so calm when his life is on the line. Stefan folds his arms and cocks his head, looking at nobody in particular. We're all waiting for him to launch into his defense of himself. Vote for me if you want. And? That's it. Wow, alright. Jason, I guess you're up. Something is changing in Jason's expression. The look of total despair has been replaced by confusion that's rapidly giving way to glee. He thinks Stefan's thrown it, that he just has too much pride to beg for his life. Well, it's hard to compete with a message that brief and on point, but let me see what I can do. Look, I didn't expect this. I thought last time was just a one-off, that maybe I came on a little too strong and people responding to that. And that's cool, I hadn't read the room, I didn't know what kind of energy everyone was putting out. But I feel like I've locked into that vibe now. We're clicking, right? You can hear it. Constant clicking, baby. Tay, my dude, regular Mensa guy over here. You're smart as hell, man. You can see the benefits of keeping me around, can't you? Have you even spoken to Stefan? I don't blame you if not. He's creepy as hell. Stefan doesn't even react. Anya, we're in this together, babe. I'm the only one who's seen the Fledgling Manor here. If you want someone who can help you navigate all this craziness, that's me. Anya just gives Jason a weak smile. And hey, Lilia, remember what I said last time? That's still true. I can just tell by looking at you that you've got hidden depths. Lilia clenches her jaw as Jason turns to her. It's clear that she just wants him to leave her alone. There's something about you. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just how quiet you are. But I know there's more to you than you let on. She seems mortified by the attention. I wonder why. Next, he turns to me. Rockefeller Center! Rockapella! Rockapella? I love your style, man. I think we have a really great dynamic going moving forward. Maybe you're not totally vibing with me? I get that. I got big presents. But be honest with yourself. It's me or Stefan that sticks around. Which would you prefer? Hey, same goes to you. That's what this comes down to, right? It's not about how much you like me. It's about whether you like me more than Stefan. That's what we're deciding here, isn't it? Whether I'm more likable than this psycho who barely opens his mouth except to say some really unhinged shit? I'm not crazy, right? Stefan is a freak. A genuine, honest-to-God freak. You saw him on the train. If you saw him on the train, you'd change cars. He's working himself into a sweat now, metaphorically speaking. Jason can't stop himself. He's falling into the exact same trap that Grace did last time. Stefan didn't give up. He handed Jason his own noose. Is this your guy? Really? He won't even defend himself. Maybe he doesn't even want to live. I do, okay? I want to keep going because I've got so much more to give. Not just to you all, but to the world. Nobody's saying anything. It seems like he might stop for a moment, but then he just starts up again. You like this? A dude who doesn't even seem like a person? I thought maybe it was just an act before, but now I think this guy might be an actual serial killer. He's not wrong, but you could probably say that about a lot of the contestants on this show. We're vampires, after all. Come on, guys! Look, we can move past all this. Vote Stefan out and we can just pretend none of this ever happened, okay? It'll be like it was supposed to be. I don't know what's going on to come out of this thing. I don't know who's going to come out of this thing on top. It might not be me, but I sure as hell know I don't go out at the second council. You all need me. I'm not that bad to be around either, right? It's cool. It's all cool. I know what you have to do. You know what you have to do. I shouldn't be getting this worked up. He's about to sit back down. But it makes me crazy to think that Stefan has gotten into your head somehow. Maybe he used some kind of vampire powers. Vampire powers? Some of you, I bet, didn't even know those were a thing! Well, they are, so if you find yourself agreeing with this wolf, you should ask yourself, is that you siding with him, or has he gotten to you? He could be doing that. You don't even know. You wouldn't even know, guys. Finally, it seems like he's finally run out of steam. Everyone's quiet while Nico types away on his phone until a PA nudges him. Oh, are you done, Jason? Yeah, I'm done. Does anyone want to ask either Jason or Stefan any questions? I do. Everyone turns to Tay and he squirms in his seat a little. Go ahead, Tay. Well, my question is for Stefan. Do you really not have any reason why we shouldn't vote for you? Stefan slowly looks up and makes eye contact with Tay, who fidgets uncontrollably. Stefan, you want to address that, or...? I said what I have to say. Wow, gripping stuff. Anyone else? Come on, ask me anything. I'll give you strategies from all the seasons I've seen. I've even seen Day Zhongling. I'm invaluable. The atmosphere is getting uncomfortable. This isn't like last time. Say what you will about Grace. At least she kept her cool while she yammered on at us. Jason's lost it. If there's nothing else, then we'll move on to the vote. Someone say something. Just talk to me. I said we'll move on to the vote. One at a time, we go into the curtained-off area to cast our ballots. It's the same setup as last time. Desk, candle, paper, knife, seal. I wonder if this is the kind of thing elder vampires do, if it's just played up for the show. This time I know the drill. I prick my thumb with the knife and place my thumbprint next to... Jason, sorry man. You're just coming apart. The last thing we need is an unpredictable person in the house. Stefan is a psycho, but at least he's a predictable psycho. So far. Maybe we march back into the ballroom and take our seats. Jason still looks like a wreck. Blood has been spilt. The votes have been tallied. One fledgling shall be culled this night. Nico begins pulling the votes out of the basket handed to him by a PA. Stefan. Pulls out another. Stefan. Jason looks up. Maybe he'll live to see another night after all. He clearly still has some supporters here. Or maybe it's like he said, and people just dislike him less than Stefan. Jason. He doesn't seem shaken by that. He knew at least one person would be voting for him. Stefan, who seems perfectly unperturbed by all this. Jason. They're tied now. Jason. It's 3 Jason, 2 Stefan, 2 votes left. Stefan. They had to have set it up this way, right? Down to the last vote, and it's the tiebreaker. Nico slowly turns the paper around to show us. Jason. I figured this was coming, but I had no idea what to expect. Based on Jason's performance earlier, I half thought he might try and attack Stefan or something. But he's not doing anything like that. He's just sitting there. Or wait, he's crying. Shrieks of blood are streaming down his face as he buries his face in his hands. It wasn't supposed to be like this. This wasn't how it was meant to go. God, this is fucking awful. I was going to be a star. This was going to be a thing that changed everything. I was going to turn my fucking shitty life around. Even Nico looks kind of uncomfortable. Your time has come, child. Jason slowly rises to his feet. Maybe he'll try to make a run for it. Nope, he just lowers his hands, revealing his crimson-smeared face, looks at all of us blankly, and turns to follow Nico aside. Nobody says a word. They lead us back out to the courtyard again, and it's worse now than I know what to do. And it's worse now that I know what to expect. We'll stand there awkwardly, not knowing what to say. Except Stefan, of course, who is fine. Tay, in particular, looks haggard and fucked up. He looks like he's muttering to himself, but I can't hear what he's saying. He closes his eyes and hangs his head. Is he praying? If there's a god, do they accept vampire prayers? There's no way of knowing, I guess. We wait for the cameras and lights to set up, and then we wait some more. What's taking so long? Impatient for the bloodshed, huh? What the fuck is your problem? Don't let him provoke you, Rocky. Stefan laughs. Would everyone be so down in the dumps if I was the one who you were waiting for? We all know the answer. It's no. Jason's been friendly with everyone. Fuck, he's even been friendly with Stefan. So we voted for him to die because that's what we have to do on this show. And it sucks. No matter how you look at it, it's terrible. Maybe I am impatient for the bloodshed to start, because the longer we just stand here, under the hot lights, the longer I have to think about what we just did. All these people are going to have to die if I'm going to survive this. Now look at them. Anya, Tay, Lilia, 8, Stefan. I doubt I'll watch them all die, but I'll probably see some of them go. Maybe Grace was the luckiest, since she didn't have to see it happen to anyone else. Easy to muse that to myself, but I'm not about to nominate myself for the chopping block. Finally, Nico and the executioner bring Jason out. He looks weird though. Normally Jason stands up really straight. He usually has posture right out of a masculinity meme you might find on a forum where people have extremely fucked up ideas about gender. But now he's slumped against Nico. His face is kind of slack. Are Nico and the executioner holding him up? Is Jason already dead? Well, yes, technically. But did they already execute him? No. He opens his eyes and looks at us. His gaze drifts over to Stefan and then his eyes close again. Did they drug him? I wonder if that's what took so long. I had a feeling he might put up a fight. Jason's a strong guy. It's possible they had to dose him to get him to stop struggling. I think I'm going to throw up. Jason's eyes open once more, locked onto Stefan. When he speaks, it's soft. I've never heard him speak so softly. See you in the next life, brother. Yeah, buddy. I'll see you in hell. For a split second, Stefan's awful grin looks fond and almost warm, and then it's over. Nico clears his throat. Executioner, it is time. He steps away from Jason and Jason slumps to the floor. Something looks seriously wrong with him. He's way past even just the crying. They did something to him while we were waiting, I'm sure of it. The executioner gestures at Jason's body and Nico rolls his eyes. Fine. Nico bends down to grab Jason by the hair and hold him steady. Is this acceptable, executioner? The executioner nods and raises her sword over her head. There's a nasty chop, and the stump of Jason's neck watches dumbly as its head rolls away before it all turns to dust. Goodbye, Jason. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. 1 fledgling falls and 6 remain. Congratulations on making it this far, fledglings. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you tomorrow night. And I'm voiced out. Thank you for joining me. I will probably continue this next week. Yeah, I will be saying tomorrow. DMC and I will be streaming. We're not playing a game. We're just gonna be hanging out and making a conspiracy board for a Fate project DMC is working on. We made one already, and we're just gonna kind of expand that. And so we're gonna be talking about a lot of Fate bullshit and just having fun. So just come hang out. It'll be great. Good night.